And hello everybody, welcome back to the video. Today we are back inside of our Minecraft survival world, and we're finally getting started on the garden that I've talked about for the last couple episodes that I want to put in here. I'm thinking we're going to do some stuff like bring in some exotic trees, maybe some flowers that don't really make sense for the area, and kind of see if I can make a bit of a more exotic garden. Just in general, it'll be larger, so I have a bit more freedom to do a bit more with it. You can already see kind of with how this is working around here that it's going to be a bit more like straight up along here to give it the barrier, which I've already talked about, but it's a little bit easier to understand with an actual visual representation put in front of you. So we're going to come in and just bring all of this around so that it kind of gives the enclosed vibe around here, and we'll extend it further down that way. I think we're going to leave kind of the buffer down to the pumpkin, and we're going to mostly build the garden around here. Maybe I'll put like in a small lake or something. I'm not 100% sold on anything for this area yet. I mostly just have ideas, but as it's starting to shape up, I'm coming up with more and different ideas for what I'm thinking. So hopefully this should all be good. But yeah, I'm going to get the terraforming done, and we'll start with some actual like ideas of, okay, am I gonna put a lake here, you know, stuff like that. Alright, so we've got our bit for the garden all dug out and complete. I think this is gonna be the general dimensions I'm gonna go for. I thought about maybe making it a little larger after I dug it out to the full length, but I think we're gonna leave it at this size. We're gonna do a pond on this side. Not too large of one, just like a alright sized pond. We're going to have to bring it down a bit and then like fill in some of these sides with dirt. I'd much rather have the sides be filled in with dirt than with stone. And we'll have it actually go down an additional block here. It'll look a little weird, but I want to fill in some aquatic plants down here, like maybe some seagrass and some coral and stuff like that down here. So I just want to make sure that it's deep enough to allow for that. So 3 blocks should be enough. I'm not positive that that'll be perfect, but we'll just have it a bit more like sporadic in terms of where it goes down at, but something like this should be decent once it's filled in with water. I need actual water to fill it in with, of course. But yeah, I'm thinking this will be decent. I'm hoping this garden turns out pretty well, because this is kind of gonna be the foundational thing of this area. Like, I get the pumpkin more so, but these two builds combined is going to be what determines how nice of an area this is overall. So if the garden doesn't turn out, then I don't think this area in general is going to be very nice, but hopefully it should all work out. And there we go. There's the lake. Grass should grow along the side. This will look a lot better once we fill it in with some seagrass and stuff. I don't know what saplings I already have and what saplings I'm going to want to put down here. I want to do a little bit more organized than just randomly throwing stuff down. Oh, I do have an acacia sapling. Perfect. I'm going to do an acacia and a birch, I think. And maybe a dark oak, too, though I'm a little less sold on that. Let me get some bone meal, and we'll take a look at some of this stuff. So I'm thinking we do the acacia kind of hanging over the lake. I might put a second one on the other side, actually. Then we'll have the birch over here kind of as the foundational tree for this side, and maybe, just maybe, I might remove this, but a dark oak towards the middle. I'm a little less sold on that. But it's mostly going to be the flowers that are going to fill in with how nice this is going to look. So I'm thinking we kind of do it something along the lines of, we'll have like an entrance here, and we're going to have a path that runs through this going down through here, around, and then back out over here. And then we're going to set up all of this stuff so that it'll work around that. We'll just bone meal the backside, kind of here. I'm going to have to wait for the grass to grow to fully bone meal it. But we'll bone meal around the back and then have the front side mostly be set up with calculated plants rather than just random stuff. And then we can do some bush plants along here, along with here. And yeah, it'll probably work something along those lines. We'll see. Got a lot of work to do. Ultimately, gonna have to wait for the grass to grow before I can really start. Gonna have to get some stuff for the lake. But I think this looks pretty nice already. Alright, as I'm clearing out the last bits from these chests that I never bothered to clear out, which there's a little bit of me that's kind of annoyed that I didn't clear these out in the past. Would have made my life a bit easier as I was moving around that the whole time if I just cleared it out earlier, but whatever. But as I'm doing that, I just wanted to talk about kind of the direction the chest room's heading. If you note back here, I'm starting to set up some like more bulk storage, like single item storage versus up here, which is all collective storage. Like this is all food items, you know, even pumpkins, which isn't exactly food, kind of splits into here. I don't know why leads are in here. I should probably find a different spot for those, but it's much more broad in how much stuff can go in each chest. Whereas back here, I'm going to just set up single storage for when stuff gets overfilled, which, how did this stuff end up here? Anyway, so like rotten flesh and bones, the mob chest was completely full. So I moved all of this stuff back here to make room in here. And then when I'm randomly just putting stuff away, I'll probably still put most of the things just in the broad chest. And then once the broad chests start getting full, it'll start moving back. I do a couple bulk things like the stone and dirt, which is just specifically stone and dirt along with cobblestone. Now this is more broad, of course, same with the wool. But so there are a couple things that are just a little bit too specific up here that I might want to move back. Mostly just these 3 chests here. The problem is I don't have anything more broad to set up here to fix it, really. So I might just leave these 3 and then just also set up broad stuff back here. But my thing is I want stuff with signs up here, whereas since the stuff behind is going to be single item, we'll just have the item frame without a sign for the extra information. But yeah, that's where I'm going with the chest room for specific storage directions with it. And I don't know, I think I'm gonna like that system. We'll see. Item organization is something that has always given me trouble, and I'm not super looking forward to getting back into that mess. But so I just hope that the current system I have works and I don't have to get back into the mess of figuring out a new organization system, but we'll see. Alright, so we have the whole path stuff set up. As mentioned, I mostly just need items to put around it. I think I'm going to kind of put that a bit on the back burner just for a bit for some of the specific items. I think I'm going to kind of make this area where I kind of like put exotic plants that I find instead of just making it all in one go really large and fancy. So what I am going to do though is I'm going to see here. I believe I have some coral. Yes, I have some coral. So we're going to take some of the coral I have and fill up a little bit of the water thing along with, I think I have kelp somewhere. Where exactly is a whole other question. But I seem to remember having some kelp stored somewhere. I'll worry about that later. We're going to just put down the coral for the moment. Let's see here. So the coral, I'm going to just kind of embed in where I currently have the wall for the coral blocks. Now for the more specific, you can just kind of spread out. And boom. We have a little bit of color added to the lake. I'm going to obviously want a bunch more than just that. Let me grab out most of the rest that I have instead of being stingy with my coral, as I'm just blind. Here it is. Yeah, let's grab out most of the rest that I have. And we'll fill up the lake. And then I'll grab some bone meal and kind of spread it around. And then at some point I'll move in some of the larger bushes and stuff that I want to add in. Two and one. There we go. Add in some more of the red. Just a little bit more approaching the ceiling. And there we go. There's a bunch more color in there. I like that a lot better. I do think it would look better if I had a bit more of the coral blocks instead of just the actual coral, if most of it was coral blocks. But for the moment, I think that works really well. And then the last thing I want to do with this for the moment is I want to just kind of come in with bone meal and then some flowers that don't come as much so just from the bone meal. And get this just set up to look a little nicer here and now. Because once again, I want to have more exotic plants and stuff mixed in. That came with no flowers. Oh, I guess it's the biome. Not many flowers really spawn in this biome, do they? So yeah, we're just going to spread out some flowers around here and just kind of give it a bit more color and life. And then mix in some grass with it. And do the same on this side. Kind of going down and around here. Boom. These kind of colorless flowers aren't as good for this. But the blue and red work a lot better. The tulips and the cornflowers. Boom. And then let's just spread some around back here. Should probably be pretty liberal with the tulips just because, yeah, I have a lot of them. Okay. And then I obviously have to wait for the grass to grow back here before I can do much more. But I already really like how this is looking in general. And from above, oh, that looks so nice just flying by. I already really like that. Alright, I am quite satisfied with this for the moment. I think this is where we're going to leave off the garden for now. Alright guys, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you all in the next one. God bless. Bye-bye.